Malamba has its analyses of sorts here. Um, I'm really just testing out the interface on the TikTok Live. I haven't really used it. Well, I haven't used it before properly, so bear with me as I try to figure it out because I haven't actually done this on the platform. I've only ever done it on different platforms when I was streaming on multiple platforms at one time. So just bear with me. But uh, as you can see from the title, I hope you guys can see it. It's it's called Organize to Mobilize. So I've spent a lot of time watching what's happening or what happened with the World Economic Forum and all the different world leaders, giving their various inputs on where they would like to see the world go. And obviously, we understand that the agenda is 2030 and all the preparation that's being made now, everything that's being done right now is in preparation of those objectives. Um, Hi, Jessica. Um, if you have time, please just go on YouTube and check out, just look for highlights of the World Economic Forum 2026 in Davos and listen to what they're talking about and how they're making plans about our lives, without feeling any need to consult us, to speak to us, and see what we think about some of these plans that they have for us. It's very scary. Um, you've got Elon Musk talking about they would like to create more robots than humans and how robots will make our lives a lot easier, which of course is not true. These people are power hungry. They're obsessed with remaining at the top and enslaving everybody else and using all of these technologies to create a global dictatorship led by AI. So we cannot be fooled into thinking that they have our best intentions at heart. They don't. But what I see from a lot of the different lives that I've joined and what I'm seeing from content creators across different platforms is people still think they can win this battle against the globalists by playing by the rules or by following, even worse, right, by following the constitution of their countries. And it just doesn't work like that. It's hard sometimes to explain to people or to get through to people to help them understand that everything that's currently happening within our system has been planned. The collapse of economies around the world is planned. Um, Crypto is being centralized as we speak right now. Thankfully, there are a few wallets that have been made as a way to escape the new sort of technocracy and financial system, which will essentially entrap us. There are platforms out there and wallets that have been created, and I would encourage you to do as much research as you can about the various platforms that you can join to help you escape the banking system because the elites want total and full control of our lives. Like I said, take some time to go watch just a few highlights from some speakers from the World Economic Forum and listen to what they're talking about. Coupled, if you take what they're saying, or just from the highlights, and you couple it with the files that have just been leaked, the Epstein files, and just look at all the names that are on those files and the types of activities that they're engaging in behind the scenes. Shocking, shocking things. Everything from pedophilia to, I mean, dismembering children's bodies and then eating them. I mean, this is something out of a movie. You couldn't even tell somebody about these things. They would have to actually go and experience them or read them for themselves. And I would again encourage you, if you're on X, a lot of the files are already up on there. Just take some time to read what these people are doing and the type of lifestyles that they're into. A lot of these celebrities that people worship and look up to are sickos. They're not okay in the head. And these are world leaders. And these are the globalists that our governments are listening to, following, that are dictating the terms in our countries. When you see no change taking place, or rather, when you see your government doing the opposite of the will of the people, it's not because the government is confused. It's not because your government doesn't understand. It's not because your government is incompetent, because a lot of people think, oh, it's just an incompetent government. They don't know what they're doing. And it's not true. These people know exactly what they're doing, right? They're doing exactly what they're being told to do. Very few countries are actually in control. Or let me put it like this, very few populations in countries are actually in control of policy, right? We're still playing this political game where we think we have power and we think we can change things through a vote. And it will never work that way. You've got to understand that countries are companies, right? We are owned according to, and we've been named and we're controlled and owned according to the minerals that we have, according to the companies that are functioning there by, the globalists and multinationals, the NGOs, private sector. The citizens are not in control. Whoever's funding your politicians is who's running your country. So for us to think that we could affect change through a ballot box or through voting, for me personally, I think is delusional. That's just a game or a system that's been set up to keep us occupied, to keep us feeling like we're involved. And yet every single year, infrastructure deteriorates, the state is collapsing and handing over SOEs to the private sector. We're watching all of these things happen in real time. Our currencies are being manipulated in real time. Um, Banks are getting away with all types of fraud. Politicians are getting away with fraud. And mind you, there's no politician that's under any obligation to tell the citizens the truth. There's no law that says that your politicians must be honest with you. Hence why they can continue this cycle of corruption and keep getting away with it and face no consequences, face no punishment. They keep lying to us about the statistics. They use media to confuse us, to enrage us, to divide us. And we keep falling for this cycle of voting and waiting every 5 years. And, oh, look, we're waiting for the local elections. We're waiting for the national elections. Guys, nothing is going to change. You've got to understand that our countries have been named, they've been owned, and they're being controlled by globalists. They've assigned the politicians, hence why, if you notice, politicians have 24-hour security. Why is that? Right? They tell you, open the borders, let's allow everybody in, yet you can't even step into their yards. High fences, electric fences, high fences, 24-hour security everywhere they go, right? But they're telling you, embrace your neighbors, open borders. Let's just allow anybody into the country. Stop being xenophobic, stop being racist, etc., etc. So it's hypocritical. They're telling us to do one thing while they do the opposite. And this is the point I'm trying to get to, is that the laws have been written to ensure that we remain at a certain level, which is below them. Now, I'm not encouraging anarchy. I'm not just saying go out there and be reckless and stupid and break the law. I'm saying you have to learn how to fight fire with fire in an organized and systematic way, in the same way that they're doing. Your politicians, your lawmakers, the globalists don't follow the laws, guys. You've got to wake up to the reality that they're making laws to keep you occupied and to stop you from challenging the status quo, right? They instill fear in society. The fear of what? The fear of imprisonment, the fear of getting killed by the police, by the military, or being labeled in the media as persona non grata, or as an anarchist, or as a vigilante, or racist or xenophobic. They've got all sorts of, or a bigot. I mean, they've got all sorts of terms and terminology to make sure that you have a label on you and are thus ostracized from society, so you can't get any opportunities financially to advance your life. We are stuck in a trap, and this trap is a system that is controlled by laws that the elites themselves do not follow. So if you think that they wrote your constitution to allow you to overthrow the system, you are joking. And I need people to wake up to this fact. They would not write a document that gives you equal power as they have. Then there's no point in calling them the elites. They're not elite then. If they've given you a step-by-step guide on how to overthrow them, how can they maintain power if they're telling you how to remove them? Everything we believe about the system is a complete farce. They tell you you can change the government and you can change your political party. Guys, the problem is not your political party. You can vote ANC if you like. You can vote EFF. You can vote DA. You can vote whatever party you want and put them in power. The problem is not the political party. The problem is not the leadership. The problem is the system that we have adopted. Countries are formalized organizations that are controlled by the elites. They've given you politics as a type of theater. They've given you entertainment, music, media, dancing, social media apps to distract you so that you never organize yourselves to do what you are supposed to do. You've got to understand that your country was obtained in blood or through blood. Wars were fought for your resources. Wars were fought for your land. Victors wrote constitutions, history books, designed your educational curriculum, right? Sanitized the history, projected certain people as heroes and others as villains, created narratives that are continually perpetuated by the media and through the educational systems. You're just born into a system that's already functioning. You have no say so, right? So the government is not performing the will of the people. The government is doing as it pleases. Particularly, they're carrying out the instructions of the global elites who control them. So your problem is not a political party. Your problem is the political system, right? That system has been set into motion by whoever controls your company, your country, right? And whoever controls your country is not necessarily how, the framework of how we think about colonialism is as, oh, this country controls that other country. No, we're talking global corporations. We're talking the Committee of 300. We're talking multinationals. We're talking billionaires. We're talking oligarchs, conglomerates. It's more complex than just saying this country colonized that country, therefore that's who's running your country. It's a lot more complex than that. We're talking oligarchs, we're talking billionaires, we're talking the members of the Committee of 300. That's who's running the show. And the agenda is the same around the world. If you notice, there's an immigration crisis that's taking place everywhere, in every country that has development, that has infrastructure, that has a good to decent economy. Those countries are being infiltrated through NGOs and through refugee programs and asylum seeking programs that allow people from the third world to be brought into your countries to collapse your economies. Your economy is not built, your tax is not built to make provisions for that many people coming from outside your country. These people know what they're doing, and it's being done systematically and deliberately. It's no accident, it's no mistake. So that's the first thing we have to understand is we have to first come to terms with reality. A lot of us are not living in reality. We still think we're going to change things in the political system through our votes. Of course, that illusion is presented to us every election cycle to make us believe that we have a say, to make us believe that we have power over the outcomes. We don't. We do not. That's the first thing you have to come to terms with. The first thing you have to understand is that as citizens, we have very little control. You got to understand, your politicians are there to manage you and to manage your anger, or as Tinubu says, to manage your hunger. Your politicians are there to control you, to manage you, while globalist policies are being implemented in your country. So this thing is very complex. It's not it's not black and white. There's a lot of gray area in what's going on, and it's important for us to understand and not be delusional. Yeah, because how affect change through a vote. So I titled this "Organize to Mobilize" because you are not going to get the changes you want in your country through the current system that's at play, right? We have to look at the root cause of why things are falling apart in your countries, in your respective countries. Specifically, I'm talking about South Africa, my country. We've watched our country over the last 30 years systematically be destroyed. The public sectors being completely collapsed before our very eyes, no service delivery, basically like every other African country. All of this is by design, it's deliberate. And it takes the people rising up against this system to challenge it. It's not enough to wait for the election cycle and then hope that somehow your vote is going to change or shift the power dynamics of your country. That's just not realistic. Remember, your land and resources was obtained through warfare, through blood. Blood was shed to obtain these things. Then you were named and you're treated as a commodity. You're treated as a company. That's what countries are. They're private companies. Then they've given you the political system to make you think and feel that you're involved in the process of policy making, law making, legislation. You are not involved in that. Hence why your constitutions were written a long time ago and they're set in stone. In South Africa, we have to get two-thirds majority. That's impossible. It's never going to happen, especially with the way immigrants are being brought into the country. There's no ways people will be united enough to get that two-thirds majority. We had an opportunity in the 90s to do so, just as we had an opportunity for land to be redistributed in the 90s by the NC, and they didn't do it, which is to say, they will never do it. The day we understand this is the day we understand that we need a different strategy, a different approach. Voting is not going to change anything because the problem is not a political party. Understand me. Your problem is not the ANC or the EFF. The problem is the system in place that is controlled by multinationals, by billionaires, by the Committee of 300, by the globalist elites. These political parties are simply there to control you, whilst the globalists are the ones actually making decisions in your country. Cyril Ramaphosa is there to keep his bosses and his funders happy. Because the loyalty of these political parties is to their funders, not to you. You are the subjects. They don't listen to you. They listen to whoever is funding them with the millions and billions of dollars that they're getting. That's who they listen to. They do not listen to the citizens. They don't listen to the public. Laws are not made by citizens. We can cry, protest, and complain all we like. But ultimately, a decision needs to be made by us, the people. We cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again and hope for different results. That is delusional. We are lying to ourselves. At some point, we have to face reality. We've got to face the facts and say, you know what? We're going to need a different strategy outside of what we've been made to believe will affect change in our country, which has done nothing for us over the past 30 years. So it's time to take stock. We've had 30 plus years of a system that's completely failed us. we can't still be talking about elections, guys. At some point, we got to face reality, we got to face facts, and we have to approach the situation with a change of tact, a different MO as far as how we're going to get this done. So, I wanted to make this live just as a sort of a introduction to this theme that is ongoing that I wish to tackle as often as I can make lives and hopefully get people understanding the steps that are necessary in order for us to go where we need to go. So yeah, I'm gonna end the live now. Yeah, I think I'll end things there because I just wanted to make a sort of an introductory video on where we need to go as a country. We've implemented a system that's taken us nowhere over the past 30 plus years. We need a change of tact. We need a new strategy. And as South Africans, we definitely need to figure ourselves out and unite because we are not each other's enemies at all, by any stretch of the imagination. If you guys understood who your real enemies were, I promise you, you would stop all of this racial division, gender division, cultural division. We have a much bigger enemy who's way more powerful than anything um, the person next to you could do. And many people, for example, immigrants are being used as pawns in this game. Immigrants don't understand. They really think the system of the government loves them. That's why and NGOs love them. That's why they're getting all the support. Anyway, I'll do a live on that another time. But for now, guys, I want to end it here. Thank you for those that did join in. I didn't want this to be too long of a video. It's just more of an introduction to a topic that I think is very important. And the topic is we need a new strategy. We cannot still be talking about voting and signing petitions, etc., etc. That stuff does not work and has not worked. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in. Kalabon. Hola.